Good Wednesday afternoon, everybody. I'm meteorologist Tim Pandagis here with another tropical update. Hurricane Zeta, October 28th, 2020. All right, what's the latest? Zeta became the 11th hurricane of 2020. In fact, now it's up to a Category 2 with winds of 100 miles per hour. It will become the 5th storm so far this season to make landfall in Louisiana. And we still have over 1 month to go in the hurricane season that ends November 30th. All right, here's the latest in Louisiana landfall. Zeta makes it 5 landfalls: Cristobal, Laura, Marco, Delta, and soon to be Zeta. It's about 3.5 hours out from making landfall. You can see in the basin overall, aside from Zeta, pretty quiet for the most part. Most of all the Atlantic is quiet. It's just the far southern portion of the Caribbean, though. It's a little yellow circle there. That's a spot that we'll watch for possible development. Within 5 days, that's got about 20% chance, but that's also the same area that we saw Zeta develop. So it's certainly a possibility. We'll have to keep an eye on it there. It's favored for this time of the year in the climatology. All right, here's how it looks on satellite imagery right now. As I mentioned, actually, there's a new update there. We're on hourly updates now that it's so close to landfall. So we are up to 105 mile per hour winds, still a Category 2 with gusts up to 115. This storm will continue its trend of strengthening towards landfall. You see the loop here, and it has certainly strengthened and intensified on its overall presentation on the satellite imagery. We're looking at the infrared here. It tells us the temperature of the cloud tops. Colder the cloud tops, more intense the thunderstorm activity. Now, the shades of white and pink that you're seeing show up here around the center is the coldest cloud tops, the most intense thunderstorm activity, and it is completely encircling the center. And you can see that eye clearing out once again as it's now within about 50 miles or so of the Louisiana coastline. Switching it up and showing you radar here. Radar is also showing that center, that eye clearing on out. You can see the eye wall here, that band of extremely heavy rain. You're also going to find the strongest winds associated with that. Something also quickly to touch on here is how fast it's moving. 21 miles an hour. That's a difference considering all the other landfalling storms that we've seen. At least the majority of them have been extremely slow movers. This one is moving at a fairly good clip. Not the best news, especially for storm surge on the east side of the storm, the right side that's blowing onshore at the moment. It will be good news, however, once it moves inland, its speed will pick up, and that means flooding rainfall won't be as much a problem. However, large-scale wind and the wind threat is quite high. Water vapor imagery now, just to kind of show you another filter here on the satellite. I mean, it's a very healthy-looking system here, and it continues to strengthen as it gets closer to landfall. And not unexpected, it's got very warm sea surface temperatures that it's still pulling energy from and will do so until it's no longer over its fuel source once it moves over land. Here is the official track from the National Hurricane Center, 3 o'clock advisory, again, winds of 105. It moves onshore within the next few hours as a Category 2 and then begins to rapidly weaken. It's away from its fuel source. It's like an engine running out of fuel. It'll move inland, get moving faster. Look at the amount of ground it covers between 8 o'clock tonight and 8 o'clock tomorrow. It's moving about 1,000 miles, and it's already offshore of Delaware and New Jersey at that point as a tropical depression or remnant low. And it will pass to the northwest of areas in southeastern Virginia and Hampton Roads in northeastern North Carolina, meaning they'll be on the windier side of things and potentially there even a minimal severe threat. As it's moving onshore, as I mentioned, bringing that onshore flow, we have the storm surge threat up once again. They could see somewhere upwards of 7 feet in terms of storm surge inundation in these areas here through the Mississippi coastline, even out towards Alabama, and of course southeastern Louisiana. In terms of rainfall, I mentioned how it's moving so fast. Notice these totals here as we go straight out to the weekend. So it's now long gone by then. But rainfall totals are decent, but they're not overly impressive at all. You look at the legend here, we're looking 2, 3, 4, maybe some local areas of 5 inches of rain. That's not a ton, especially for being a tropical system. Its forward speed being so quick is going to be helpful in this sort of scenario here. That's the latest there on Zeta. We'll see if we get anything else to come out of the Gulf of Mexico or Southern Caribbean the next week and a half or so. But if you want to find me on social media, don't be afraid to ask a question. Facebook, Instagram, and on Twitter. Have a great rest of your Wednesday, and if you're in the storm's path, stay safe.